It is August 9th, 2016, approximately 20 minutes after 6 in the morning. We're standing outside the pool house, camera pointed towards a window where you can see condensation built up on the window and dripping down. We're going into the pool house for the first time today. And this is what we see in the pool house every morning around this time. Notice there are pools of water all over the floor, from water dripping down from the ceiling. You notice perhaps the camera is picking up the fog that's in here. The entire room is filled with fog. If you listen, you can hear the water dripping down all over the room. And as you can see, there is water literally everywhere throughout the pool room. This is now the north-facing OSB and interior drywall wall. Has no vapor block on the outside. It has no vapor block underneath it. Directly underneath it is open cell spray foam insulation. You can see where the OSB regularly absorbs water from the wall because the walls are dripping. And you see water dripping out of this light box. Water dripping down the drywall wall. Plaster and drywall tape loose. You can see on the floor where paint and drywall has dripped off the wall in the middle of the night. You may remember the video from last night when the same area of the wall and floor were actually clean, did not have paint on them or plaster. You see here another light switch box. Note that there is no water above it. This area is dry, and yet it drips with water from inside the wall. That's also the case with this outlet box. It's dry above it, around it, but there is water inside it. Here's the window that we looked at last night. With water staining all over it, all over its frame. From where the water drips down behind the OSB kickout and goes behind and over the window. Drips down the wall. This is the little river it typically follows. That's wet. And unfortunately, the camera's not going to pick it up, but you can tell that the drywall above the OSB is saturated. It's completely wet. Its color has changed. You can see that it is holding water in its surface. And in a few hours, it'll dry out somewhat, but remain damp throughout the day. And the process will begin again tonight. Here's the area of suspected mold that we discussed last night. And you can see, if you look close, I don't know, you might be able to see that it's beginning in other places on the wall too. Again, we don't know for sure that this is mold, or just by process of deduction, that would seem to be the case. Here's the same area I showed you last night above the door. Again, that we think is mold, but we're not sure is mold. It's only appeared in the last couple weeks. Here's the light switch box we detailed last night. It's now soaking wet. This open cell spray foam insulation is completely saturated. You see water coming out of it. But you'll also note that there is no water dripped down on the wall above it. In other words, this water is coming from inside the wall. It's not surface water that's soaked into the spray foam here, but the inside of the wall is actually wet, and the open cell spray foam insulation is saturated. Going to the pool control room. Yeah, and here we have also water pooling around the drain. I'm not exactly sure where this is coming from. Some mornings, the inside of the foam wall, or I should say the inside of the wall that's insulated to the open cell spray foam insulation, some mornings that is wet. Other mornings it's not wet. I'm not sure what environmental differences cause the difference there. We do have water, standing water, around